if any of you guys are working with high potentials, either as a coach or in any kind of coaching conversation, these are some of the things that I have noticed, okay? So first of all, if you're coaching, you sort of agree some actions at the end of the session and then, get a textbook saying, you should check in with people, have they done it? Don't bother, okay? First of all, if they meant it, they probably will have done it. They make things happen, remember? And anyway, that was a month ago, and their world will have moved on. So if it's about your need for control, then just weave it in as and when, but don't make it obvious. Get into the zone, get your running shoes on, and be ready for the ride, okay? Most of them are high energy, their brain works at, a zillion miles an hour, and you can't always follow them. Especially sometimes they get very passionate about their technical stuff. And, even stopping them is a challenge in a coaching conversation. And so, my strategy is, well, at some point they will pause for breath. And then what you need is a question which says, I kind of have been listening, but I can't summarise it back to you. So what am I going to say? And it's about moving them on. So my get out of jail questions are, so where has that taken you? So what questions do you have now? And then if you want to put yourself into it a bit, if they are really energised about something, then you can do some noticing. You can notice what it is that they get excited about, and maybe that will lead you somewhere. And what I think is also very powerful, you are an ordinary person, they are high potential. When they go off on one of their flights of fancy, what happens to you? Are you charged with enthusiasm? Are you overwhelmed? Are you confused? Are you feeling very small because they must be really bright? Probably. Whatever impact they have on you is the impact they will have on people around them. But how many people tell them that? That, for me, again, is where you can be really, really valuable for a high potential. You might not understand a word of what they've said, but you know what difference it makes to you. Let them in on that. That's a great piece of data. The other thing about high potentials is sometimes you wonder why you're there, because they do a lot of the work themselves. They kind of ask themselves the question, leads on, and they can't work. So give vent to it. Give them space. Allow them to do that. Don't feel intimidated by that. Just be grateful that you can provide them the space in which to do that. Organisations can be well-intentioned. When they see potential, they want to nurture it, but they want to use it in the way that suits them. And sometimes the individual can get lost in that. And so actually with a high potential, it might be quite useful to ask a patient what they want for them. But in my mind, it's not enough to be good. You've got to be great. So it's not just enough to be bright, you've got to be sharp. It's not enough to be confident, you've got to be authentic. In organisations, we get nowhere unless we deliver results, typically. And yet I don't think that's enough. I think it's about making things happen. Leading on from being good with people, there's a bit about being well networked. Do they know somebody who knows somebody? Not enough. They've got to be connected to those people. And it's also, I think about, certainly if I think about the small business world, it's about seeing opportunity. That's not enough either. It's about seeing possibilities. Okay, so it's that extra leap. Now, for any of you that have done any training in Gestalt, they talk about subject versus object. And what happens is, if you are subject to something, it is so much a part of you that you can't really process it. It's you, it's in your being. In order to understand it, you have to make it object so that you can look at it. That requires a change of perspective. And what I think high potentials do, why they are so sharp, is because not only are they able to be part of it, they are able to step back from it and to see more as a result.